Newly released DOJ files showed that Jeffrey Epstein funded research tied to key figures in transgender medicine, encouraged academic work on transgender biology, and circulated the topic among elite institutional networks. The financial architecture tells a more complicated story. Independent investigators had already traced billionaire funding networks that helped build the infrastructure of gender clinics, advocacy organizations, and media campaigns. Sayagyi in his article says his own reporting documented medical systems transitioning toddlers and research linking prenatal synthetic estrogen exposure to transgender identification rates up to 100 times the baseline. But what was missing was primary documentation, evidence capable of moving the debate beyond journalism and into courtrooms and congressional hearings. The Epstein Files Transparency Act provided that documentation. Saya has written a detailed article on this, but we want to take you through some of the highlights over on X. Sayagyi says, a convicted child sex trafficker told a biologist, produce research on transgender biology or I cut your funding. The biologist complied. 6 EFTA documents connect Jeffrey Epstein to the construction of America's transgender medicine industry. The biologist was Robert Trivers, Sayagyi goes on. After 7 years of continuous support from Epstein, Trivers was desperate. He couldn't make rent. He makes reference to one of Epstein's emails there. Quote, I thought that you might want to focus on transgender biology. People would be interested and I would fund. Trivers capitulated the same day. What did Trivers produce under Epstein's direction? He described trans women as organisms. He dismissed trans men as men with mum-pums, the worst of both worlds. He discussed intervening with hormones on 3-year-olds. Researchers compared his methodology to phrenology. You can see some of the sources that Sayer has included there. Sayer goes on, this is the same Robert Trivers who told Reuters that sex with minors isn't so heinous. By the time they're 14 or 15, they're like grown women were 60 years ago. That's a direct quote. A convicted child sex trafficker paid this man to write about transgender children, and you can see the Reuters interview source there as well. But it wasn't just the research. Epstein also funded the surgeon. Dr. Jess Ting received a $50,000 Epstein grant, visited his private island, and went on to build America's first comprehensive transgender surgery program at Mount Sinai. By 2017, Ting told Epstein he'd, quote, given up plastic surgery and jumped into the world of transgender surgery. By 2018, Epstein forwarded Ting's email about the program to an associate. He wasn't just receiving updates, he was circulating them. You can see that email there. I wanted to share with you some changes in my career that you may find of interest. I've switched specialties from plastic surgery to gender affirmation surgery, aka transgender surgery. And the Epstein file in question is referenced there. Ting also solicited Epstein's money for Born to Be, the Emmy-nominated documentary promoting Mount Sinai's Transgender Surgery Center. And when Reuters called asking about the Epstein relationship, Ting offered to let Epstein vet his responses to the press. The trailer is linked there. It gets worse, though. Epstein wasn't just funding the surgery and commissioning the research. He was managing the topic across his elite network. 3 more EFTA documents prove it. You can see one there. Epstein tells MIT lab director Joy Ito how to pitch Bill Gates. Forget transgender, it's trans science. He was curating which science topics to present to the world's richest philanthropist. Transgender was explicitly in his taxonomy. It goes on that Epstein's emails Obama former White House counsel Kathy Rumler during the Weinstein scandal. Transgender not yet on Wall Street. He's tracking it like a market force with a smiley face. Another document there asked for term paper topics. Epstein replies, transgender, life on Mars, self-driving cars, genetic engineering, living to 120 years old. Transgender first on the list. Same month he commissioned Trivers research. Front of mind across every register of his correspondence. It's really problematic that we have Epstein talking about ideas for term papers, and it just so happens to be all the topics that they are pushing on us now. Have a look. Not only transgenderism, life on Mars, self-driving cars, genetic engineering, living beyond whatever limits actually exist on humanity right now. Just think about the fact that it's not only, I know we're focusing this article on transgenderism, and that is important, but all of these ideas of genetic engineering and life on Mars all come from this Epstein cult as well. Keep that in mind when you have current transhumanists who claim to be fighting for humanity selling us these ideas as well. Sayer goes on. 6 documents, 1 pattern. Funded the surgery, Ting, Mount Sinai, commissioned the research, Trivers, transgender biology, routed the agenda, Gates, MIT, Obama's White House, sought to fund the propaganda born to be, all after his 2008 conviction while still abusing children. On December 18, 2025, HHS declared gender-affirming care for minors to be chemical and surgical mutilation. The government addressed what these procedures do. These documents answer who built it. Parents were told to trust this system. They were told the science was settled. The informed consent was met. Their children were in good hands. The man who funded the surgeon and commissioned the research was a child sex trafficker. They deserve to know. Now they do. Full investigation with all 6 EFTA documents, numbers, source, links, and document index is on Sayerji's Substack, which we will show you right now. The article title is "The Epstein Files Just Connected a Child Sex Trafficker to the Foundations of America's Transgender Medicine Industry," and you can find that at sayerji.substack.com. This is another one of those examples where they tell us it's case closed and nothing more to see here with the Epstein files that should infuriate everyone. What we're seeing here is thus far a millions-page release of files handed to the people, albeit heavily redacted, and we're essentially told, good luck with whatever you find and good luck ever seeing accountability for any of it. And what Sayer has found here is that a child sex trafficker and his abominable ring of sick, demented people all around this country and the world were responsible for kicking off the movement that has resulted in countless children having their genitals mutilated under the guise of healthcare. The expectation, as promised during the previous presidential campaign, was to put an end to this lunacy of transgenderism. The expectation from the people is also that whoever was involved in such things be investigated, charged, and prosecuted to the full extent of the law for harming children. We can't just stop at ending it, which we haven't ended it, by the way, due to a complicated, drawn-out debate over the big, beautiful bill. Medicaid is still funding child genital mutilation, also known as transgender surgery, in some states. An example must be made of all of those involved, previous and current, but instead we're still funding, with our tax dollars, Epstein's sick, depraved mutilation of children. Make it make sense, everyone. Are you protected in a world where threats of EMPs, solar flares, 5G, and all types of EMF are interfering with our very existence? Escape the grid with Escape Zone, bringing you the highest quality Faraday technology for ultimate preparedness. Choose when and where your devices are detectable. Faraday bags protect you from EMPs, car theft, card and device skimming, identity theft, tracking, Bluetooth, and GPS. Choose from premium mobile Faraday bags, crossbody bags, laptop bags, and even women's handbags, or opt for the optimum protection with a ballistic backpack, combining cutting-edge Faraday technology with a ballistic 3A Kevlar for the ultimate protection and preparedness. Now you can also protect from EMF with their top-notch EMF beanies and blankets, shielding you from some of the most harmful frequencies in our environment. Whatever your needs are, Escape Zone has you covered, and their range is perfect for personal use, family use, or even as a gift for someone you truly care about. Visit escapezone.com/pulse and protect you and your loved ones today. That's escapezone.com/pulse.